3 kills for Poised, and what a half it was for him as well to start getting that res early on, just giving his teammates some upper hands from time to time. But now we're going to swap sides here, and let's see what Homeless can do on this defense, which they have put together some amazing defenses on this map in the past from what we've seen throughout this tournament.
Yeah, and Superman might not be shining right now. 3 and 10, attacking is a brimstone, but it was really his defensive half when he showed up against T1 on bind. Like when he was on B site and he was being able to hold it against 3, hold it against 4. It didn't matter how many were pushing him. He was smoking the right places. His pre-fire was excellent. If he can carry on doing the same, he can lock down that B site. And it means that Cloud9 will be forced to try and hit A site over and over again, which then means you could see the stack. We are going to see a little bit of a change, though. Superman is going to be on the A site, certainly for this pistol round. Maybe that will change a little bit later. Having the Molotov and the grenades available makes it very difficult for a team to push up short.
And an interesting position, too, for the Sage to be all the way back in the cubby on A. Sages would normally play closer up to that choke or play the shower. But this time around, and I would assume that means that probably just running slows, which would be safer from distance.
Yep. You're probably right. As the rest of the team now of Cloud9 have started to move towards B. They are going to be gathering up in hookah, though, which is always a very scary place to go because it means you have to jump out of that window and it leaves yourself quite vulnerable. But
here we go.
This is going to be unfolding right here on B side.
Oh, this is bad news. That's bad news. Gary blows up right in front of dephh. Those kills are starting to come in. Sam will get 2 kills out of that one. And now Superman gets on through. Only 1 player remaining. And it was Vice. It was a valiant effort without a doubt. But now they're going to be within 1. And that looked like it could have gone real poorly. But Sam was the hero in the wings waiting to be unleashed.
Fortnite players, lol. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, Sam is unreal, by the way. The amount of grief he got for being a Fortnite player. I mean, mechanically, the things that people have to do in Fortnite for him to now come into this game and be this dominant just shows, like, skills can transition in different ways. And honestly, I love what he has to offer for this team. Like, it's not just your standard mechanical aim that he has to offer, but it's the time and the research he's clearly put in. You can tell that he knows what he wants to do on a map, and I think you said it best. Like, it's almost like the team shapes themselves around what he has to offer and what he can do with a Sova or a Viper or whatever it is he's playing.
It was one of his strongest traits when he was competing in that game for millions of dollars. He was always just bending the meta to whatever it is that he wanted. But we'll reflect on him in a little bit here. I'm sure that there will be plenty of opportunities to do so. Now, this play that happens with these sheriffs and overall with these pistols was mostly just to get that orb. And what worked out was they ended up getting a kill. Poised goes down.
It's something we see a lot more in kind of like high-level Valorant play than you would see in your normal matchmaking games, is people prioritizing getting those orbs, like having a little bit of a force towards one side of the map to ensure they get the orb, and then transitioning to the other side of the map, or continuing the flow if they're able to pick up a significant amount of kills. It's very important because the ultimates can make or break rounds, as there's going to be a heavy push now through short, but here comes Laski, satchel right to the face of Relyks.
Yeah, he planted that one exactly where he needed to. Spike's going to go down, but now the fire starts to come through here. Shinobi executes on getting that spike down with the coverage of the smoke and doesn't take all that much damage, but now it's going to start getting banged up. You can't shoot through that box with the Spectre. It doesn't work out, unfortunately. He isn't able to do the damage, but when he comes around the corner, though, that actually pays off now. Last player left alive is going to be TenZ, 22 HP in a dream. The nade goes down, doesn't quite pick up a kill yet, though, but players are going to be very weak. And TenZ, oh boy, and Sam clutches out right through the structure, does manage to get the kill, the headshot. TenZ was looking mighty scary there, but now we're going to be all tied up here, Gaskin. We got ourselves a game.
I mean, thank goodness Sam actually had the Phantom there, because if that was just a Spectre, he might have died. Because as you say, wallbanging with a Spectre, not so great. Wallbanging with Phantom, you're going to have a good time. And he was able to just spray him down through the box. And yeah, now we're at 7-7, and Homeless have done something they weren't able to do against T1. It was win a pistol round and the following round afterwards in bind. So now, if you imagine the fact that they were able to beat T1 after losing both pistols, here at 7-7, and they had a strong defensive half against T1, there's no reason why they couldn't do the same here and just kind of close out Cloud9 slowly but surely, just with their superior defensive possibilities.
Watch out for TenZ, though. Showstopper is out. He knows players are in hookah. There goes the wall. He gets through right in the nick of time. He gets through, but he can't get out. So he'll just have to wait. But now this play is going to pivot just a little bit. Supamen goes back. He plays his tight angle here on the garden. On the other side, you have Vice. A few cyber cages down. I don't know if he anticipated him to push out. Well, certainly worked out. Vice had a great read on that one in the garden. B site wide open for them, and that is why everyone's starting to make their moves here.
Yeah, 3 members of Homeless is just firmly stuck to the ground on A site. Even with the 2 picks on B, they're just holding their ground and hoping that maybe they can bluff their way into this, but it's probably going to be a case that they save their weapons at this point. Can't see them trying to take this 3 versus 5. Can we just talk about TenZ's aggression into hookah?
Oh, it was great.
I mean, you know, when you've played a Sage and you watch a Sage, you want to wait to that last second to put the wall up. But when there was already a little bit of fire and that first satchel had already come out, you would have thought the wall would have gone up slightly earlier, but TenZ just, with a lack of respect, pushing in with the wide peak into hookah. And really, probably won them the round.
Yeah, and I'm also a little surprised too that it didn't come out sooner, but I think the reason why was because TenZ had Showstopper. And if he was to like potentially get through there, he was just going to fly through it, right? Like he was going to fly through on the money. Relyks roaming, getting kills. So he would have flown in and then, you know, blast packed up, boom, exploded. And then at that point, right, like I think that there was just a hesitation because he was anticipating him to get aggressive inside, and it just didn't end up paying out because he did, and he just wasn't prepared for the way he approached it. He didn't use Showstopper. He just went in there with his weapon with all the confidence in the world that TenZ has.
So much confidence. I mean, he breathes it at the moment, and he really is the kind of central point of this Cloud9 squad. But the Cloud9 squad has been improving around him drastically, tournament after tournament, and now they've been able to reset this economy ever so slightly on the side of Homeless. Laski's gonna get aggressive with the op here, but it's not gonna work out. Relyks catches him out.
That is unfortunate, Gaskin. Laski, had he been just a touch quicker, would have seen Relyks on the transition and then might have been able to do the thing that TenZ was doing so many times. dephh might get a kill with this and does so. That shorty at close range will do a heap load of damage to you, but so will a blast pack. And TenZ delivers that one right to the loving hands of dephh.
And blast packs are just so deadly. And TenZ now continuing to tear through lamps here. Has another set of paint showers to lob out. And that's going to be the 3K and going to be the round.
So clean.
Very clean round, as it should be, but I guess it's all down to Laski really getting aggressive there with the op. You can understand why he wants to do so. If he gets a pick there and maybe he catches one player off guard and maybe they're able to get a gun, then it could be a winnable round. But at least it was a somewhat weak buy, and at least now they can full buy here on the side of Homeless.
I am getting a little concerned for Homeless here. They're making some plays that I haven't seen them, or at least in their match against T1. I don't recall how many times Laski decided to get aggressive on short A. Like it wasn't all that much, honestly. So it seems like we are going to be on a pause right now, and then once we get that sorted out, we'll jump back into the action. But yeah, man, it's a little concerning, Dan.
It is concerning, but you can understand why he got aggressive, right? Like, they had only saved the op and one rifle from the previous round, so if it had worked, we would have been singing his praises and been like, all hail Laski, our god. But Mitch gets the opener onto Supamen, and Supamen, again, just not really stepping up like he did yesterday, and getting picked off early is not going to be the best way to start this. I'm surprised he faced that aggressively, considering they already lost that early pick in the previous round when they tried to get aggressive. Something they did very well against T1 is they kind of just sat back deep in sights and they allowed T1 to push. Maybe they need to start doing something similar here.
And perhaps that could be the winning recipe. TenZ is already going to be inside of Lamb, so they've won this one out. Mitch is going to get a little aggro pushing forward. That spike is down. Oh my goodness, Mitch is just, he has like 1 HP. Will be able to give himself some more health. Laski waiting for anything that can maybe work out for them, but TenZ showstopper is going to stuff Poised. Very unfortunate there, but very fortunate for Cloud9. Because the Hunter's Fury now, and TenZ just smart, so smart, getting out of dodge with that blast pack. Only person left alive was Psalm, and that will be a wrap on that round with a bow on it. 10-7 now as they're the first to hit double-digit territory and getting oh so close to taking this first game win. And on a pick that Homeless has been extremely comfortable on throughout the entirety of PAX Arena.
Last time we saw Homeless play this against T1, Supamen went 23-14. He's now 6-14. Like,
wow.
That is a major difference. I don't know whether it's down to playstyle, whether it's down to Cloud9 just shutting him out and he's not being able to have the freedom that he was able to have against T1. But certainly is not on his A game right now. And I think that is a big loss because some of the rounds he was winning, some of the clutch moments he had yesterday were unreal. And now without that clutch factor, there are a couple of rounds where Homeless look a little bit flat here and there.
Yeah, it's not that same energy that we had from them in their battle against T1, right? TenZ marches onto the site though. Poised is going to meet him with a Spectre and does manage to come out on top with that one. Psalm with 47 HP. Now this team has done well with the Sheriffs in the past, and just I say 47 down, loses 20 of that, so down to 27. You basically breathe on him and he'll die at this point.
At least they were able to guess right and stack this B side. There is going to be one rotation. deph's going to move his way all the way around to A side now. Which isn't really going to work out. They had hedged their bets correctly. And fair play to Cloud9 for kind of holding their ground even after losing the first pick. And now Hunter's Fury will come out to try and clear the site. Psalm will take down Relyks, but Mitch is there to get the trade. And now they should have enough players to be able to waltz onto this site as Laski and Supamen fall. Now it's just going to be the one remaining player of dephh who does go down. 11-7. It was a scary start to the round with TenZ falling to the SMG. But as I said, I'm impressed that they didn't retreat after that. They didn't say, oh god, well, we've lost a pick here. Maybe we should go round to A. They said, no, sticking to our guns. We're going to continue to push. Just wait a little bit. Maybe force the rotate out of the opposition. And they did so. Now 4 rounds in a row for Cloud9. And they're in touching distance of taking this first map, GB.
Yeah, they had that confidence because they knew the weaponry for Homeless was going to be weaker, and it was for that reason that they knew that they could take that fight and succeed, which is exactly what ended up happening. A few ults are now going to be online, most notably the Brimstone Orbital Strike that Relyks could potentially use here. We give them some space to get onto this site. Laski, though, and actually be able to do some real damage with the showstopper. 4 players are going to be stacked short A. Laski will get called out here.
Does get called out, got spotted by the Owl drone, but didn't get tagged. That's at least the good situation. There's a lot of ultimates available.
He's playing
both sides, really.
So
this round
close.
could be bloody nuts. And I'm a little bit scared as to what is going to unfold.
Oh, yeah. It's happening. It's happening. Laski now. But TenZ is playing this angle. He anticipated it. He knocked him down. I think he saw the gun, and that is going to prompt Laski to just bail out of that one. But with those smokes coming down, you thought that the aggro push was going to start to happen. Laski will have to do something here. With that showstopper, kind of tip the odds in their favor. They have a whole bunch of ultimates available. Orbital Strike on the lamps. Might be able to get one, and it does. Relyks is good for the kill against dephh. And here goes the neural theft now. Mitch is going to bring Relyks right back into fighting position here, only leaving 2 players remaining. It's going to be Poised along with Supamen, and Poised by short. TenZ, once this wall goes down, he'll get the better. It works out. I mean, it feels almost like it works out every time for them with the way that TenZ plays. Supamen is going to try and make this one into a possibility. It's going to force the situation. And if he's able to pull this one out, it will be huge, but it looks like it just is not very possible. They're giving him nothing to work with here, Gaskin. One player's tucked away in the cubby. Supamen will encounter Mitch in just a second, and Mitch will win that. Just a courtesy crouch on his remains.
Yeah, and an impressive angle to be holding from Mitch as well, because I think they didn't realize he had managed to sneak through to Lamps there.
Yeah.
So they could have been all focused on kind of Heaven and that defender's spawn entrance. But instead, Mitch was wise to it and kind of thought, well, could he have got through Lamps, guys? And that question was probably asked to the team, and they said, well, maybe it could have. And just being able to hold that angle just ensured there wasn't going to be any sort of clutch happening. And now 12-7, money not great on the side of Homeless. We see half armors being bought, a Bulldog there as well. They need to play some flawless Valorant if they're going to take this to overtime. But the way it's going, Cloud9 have just been too aggressive and too successful with their executions onto site. And I feel like this isn't the same Homeless that we saw against T1. It doesn't seem like they're quite as on fire, which is a shame because you don't want to see them burn out.
Oh.
They are going to get aggressive.
Oh, they're actually going to push this one. I respect that play. They went right for it, but Vice was there on the cross to help his buddies out, and now A-Site's going to be available. Supamen still with that orbital strike will get there in time. Oh, actually, he's going to double back, but the call's been made. They're putting Spike down. There goes Orbital. Is it enough to get the kill on TenZ? No, TenZ is still going to be... Oh, I was going to say he's still going to have a little bit of HP remaining, but certainly not going to be enough there. And also Mitch really just going to be all banged up here. Both players, as a matter of fact. Mitch is able to give himself some help again. There goes Sam. He knows exactly where these guys are going to be, but Mitch, instead, around the corner there was Supamen, gets the headshot, and that is a sigh of relief to keep Homeless going in this game, but Gaskin match point still belongs to Cloud9.
Does still belong to Cloud9, but that is at least the start of a possible comeback from Homeless. Like, I want to see them relight that fire that we saw yesterday from them. Just kind of get that communication going, get the chemistry on point, making sure they're trading out kills, not pushing alone. Several rounds that they've lost here on this defensive half has just been someone peeking on their own just to try, I don't know whether it's something a little bit fancy, trying to get an early pick themselves, maybe they're overconfident, I don't know. But now when you're down 12-8, if you're going to take a risk, you need someone to hold your hand there just to trade out in case it goes wrong. Because otherwise, if you find yourself 5-4 down in terms of like player advantage, then you are really going to struggle.
Look at this. 4 players at B site. 2 players inside a hookah. Poised is going to be dropping back and playing patrol. dephh watching the angle, and he's inside of that. TenZ is going to go for this poke potentially. He will have his teammates to support him there, but Psalm gets 2. Psalm gets 2.
Huge from Psalm there, and I love this setup as well. Stacking B site, but using Cypher, his camera and his traps on A site just to get any information. Neural theft comes out as well. So now they'll know exactly where these remaining members of Cloud9 are. As they are actually all very separated on the map. Does look like they are going to think about heading towards A. With the player advantage, and now here in the TP, I imagine that rotation is going to come through here.
Laski's going to be the lone gunman here holding down the site. Does have Showstopper, might have to use this one, but instead it's going to send Gary out first to get some intelligence, and it is going to be job done, mission accomplished there for the Boombot. Laski's holding this down for so long, and Mitch, though, he's been so amazing with that. Oh my goodness, Mitch! Oh my goodness, Mitch! He got a triple there at the blink of an eye, and shinobi around the corner on the box is going to end that game. Cloud9, just like that, pick up the win on Bind.
Was that a 3-for-1? Or is he 5?